Hello, it's Robert Berman here in Santa Monica at Bergamot Arts Center. We are holding our upcoming Santa Monica Auctions fall auction on Sunday, October 7th, 2018, here in our space at Bergamot. This auction has proven to be quite exciting with some really important, rare, and beautiful works from both Los Angeles and around the world. One of the stellar paintings is this oil painting by Carlos Almaraz, who just, as you know, had the show at LACMA. This is from one of his great periods from 1983, and it is quite painterly and magnificent. Above it is a painting by Retina that was done in 2008, very early for Retina. It's called Rise Above, is what it says. And it really is an important, early, very strong example of his work. Here is a very small painting, but incredibly powerful painting called Divided Overpass with Moon from 1985. Really an amazing example how Carlos was able to use his ability of painting to take even a small work and make it look strong and powerful. I love this little piece. And also from 1985, this incredible oil painting called Waterfall that is not large in nature, but is very strong in its impact. We have quite a collection of works by the LA artist who I actually showed back in the 80s, Gilbert Magoo Lujan, including this very rare print that he made. We just received this cardboard cutout sculpture that he was known for that have become very rare. This needs a little restoration and a cleaning, but is in still very beautiful condition considering the age. But it's held up very well since this was made in the mid-'80s. We have some other gems by Gilbert that have never been available before. This self-portrait, that Cruising Con Me Baby, and a few more. Stars of this particular auction, especially of the Chicano-based art, is this work by John Valadez called Emerald Tiptoes. It was part of the collection that was Dennis Hopper, and it's been in probably 10 museum shows. It's in all of the books. It just came out of the Peterson Automotive Museum where it was showing there with the Lowrider car show. But this is a really amazing detailed pastel. We also have quite a few rare early drawings by John Valadez. This is called Black on Black. It's from 1983. It is the drawing that later became a very famous pastel by John. And a work that I've never seen it before, from 1979. It's about as early as the great works of John Valadez have been found. But this is a graphite on a huge sheet of paper, which really captures how stunning of a renderer John Valadez was. It is just full of the flavor of the period. I love this piece. And from the Chicano diaspora, we have this amazingly strong, large painting, Sneaking Away from Grandpa, circa 1990 by Frank Romero. There's quite a few great original paintings in this auction by him. This is one of two handmade prints that are made by Chaz, a really strong work from 1998. Another Chaz multiple printed by Richard Duardo. And then below that, these are groupings of works by Robert Graham. Here we are, the Chicano flag by Beto de la Rocha from 1995, and another early work by Beto. These are very rare. And here we have 1989 original work by Gronk. Actually, we have quite a few of his beautiful early works on paper. So a highlight from this auction is this incredible work by Ed Richet, which is all handmade at Tamarin. It's an edition of only 30, and it's very rare, and it's in magnificent, perfect condition. And this is a piece that we were very happy to have. We put it on the cover of the invitation. Also, above it, you see two lots by Richard Diebenkorn from 1982. Those two are being sold together. They work beautifully as a diptych, and then these also are being sold together as a diptych, but they're etchings in an edition of only 35. For this auction, we were very lucky to get works from the estate of Gabby Stewart, who was the wife of David Stewart, who was one of the finest fine art galleries in California in the 60s, 70s. When you see that tag or that provenance, it's very, very good work. Here we have from her collection, her personal collection, a few works, beautiful works by our own Larry Bell. Here you see a Emerson woofer from 1956, which came from the collection of the Emerson Woofer Estate and Paul Cantor Gallery. It has the tag on the back. One of my favorite pieces is from Russ Tamlin, also known as an incredible actor, dancer. And this piece was one of the largest of the works that he made back in the 70s. This was done in 77. He was part of the Semina group. And this piece was part of the collection of Dennis Hopper for many years. This is really an important, early, beautiful work. From the same group and from Dennis Hopper's collection is this work by Robert Dean Stockwell, part of the Semina group. And also right next to it, you see this really strong work by George Herms from 1979. Actually, we have three incredible, beautiful works by George Herms. I love early, when I say early, I mean post-war California, either San Francisco or Los Angeles heroes. This is Oscar Feininger from 1951, and a piece that we just got for the auction a couple of days ago, but we're very proud. This is a painting by John Haley from 1948. And as far as the early California heroes, we really love this piece by Ben Talbot from probably 1959, 1960. It comes from the collection of Hal Glicksman, a really important, very large, very strong abstract painting. So this piece here is from 1991 by the Northern California, well, he's an international artist, Barry McGee. He was commissioned by the Yerba Buena Center to do a fence around. And then this was given and sold through a gallery in San Francisco at the time. And this is 6 panels. It's the largest piece that I know from the original fence from the Yerba Buena Center. It's really historically important and quite a large, incredible piece. And these 4 architectural renderings that are actually beautiful full drawings were done by Peter Alexander in the 1960s. And this was really quite a historically important find. They're all signed and dated, and they really show his mastery of illustration, and he has let us know that these are definitely his works from the 60s. So they're quite important and quite beautiful renderings. In 1987, Chris Burton did this incredible installation. It was titled All the Submarines of the United States, and they were done with cardboard and wire and toothpicks, and there were about 25 extra ones made in case some of these pieces were lost in traveling to museums. This particular one came directly from one of the publishers, one of the people that oversaw it, New City Editions, Joel Stern, and this is one of the artist proofs that was from the installation. So this is one of the original submarines. Also from New City Editions, Joel Stern's, these were the working artist proofs that were never signed by Jean-Michel Basquiat, but these came directly from New City Editions. They have the stamp in each one of them. So these are lifetime works, silkscreen on rice paper, very special paper, done by Jean-Michel Basquiat in 1983. So they're very rare and very fine prints. Unsigned, but they came from the people that did the printing. We have quite a few really great prints by master printmakers. These early works by Sam Francis. We have silk screens by Andy Warhol, Mangold, Solowit. Quite a lot of great works in this auction. John L. Toon, we have an original drawing and a very rare print. We take in only things that we think are rare and exceptional. And just yesterday, we took in something that I think is absolutely remarkable. It is a Carbro print done by Richard C. Miller back in 1946. And he was being hired by a magazine, I believe it was called Modern Romance, to do a cover shot. And it was on weddings and marriage. And he chose this photographer, this model, who was only 18 years old at the time. And she had only shot for a few other photographers. And her name was Norma Jeane Doherty. And she, of course, later became Marilyn Monroe. But now she's as Norma Jeane, and she was hired for the cover of the magazine. The one that was used on the cover, which is almost identical, it actually is a flip of this, is nowhere to be found and has probably been thrown away, because back then she was not known as who she is today. But Richard did this print, a carborundum, not a carborundum, excuse me. He did this print, a Carbro print, which is very complicated, very difficult. As a matter of fact, one of the only other artists of his contemporary, Paul Outerbridge, also did Carbro prints. And they did a show together at the Getty in the photography area in 2009. And this particular picture of Norma Jeane hung there next to Paul Outerbridge because of the quality and the importance and the beauty of these Carbro prints. This is a unique work. It is a one-of-a-kind. It is signed on the front by Richard. It is also signed on the back with notations and explanations in his hand. It is the only one known, and it has never been available before. So in our auction, in our photographic section, which is quite amazing, this will be one of the featured items. not only is this beautiful piece stand on its own, it comes with something that we're kind of amazed. It comes with the actual signed model release, signed by Norma Jeane Doherty from her home, which was a few blocks from here in West LA on Nebraska. So it's signed and filled out with her home address, and it was witnessed by Richard's wife, Margaret D. Miller, who gave her to hold in this photograph this incredible prayer book, because it was supposed to be from weddings. The actual prayer book that she is holding will be included in this lot. Also included in this lot will be this whole portfolio of Norma Jeane by Richard Miller. Now these are digital archival prints. They are not the one-of-a-kind work as we're selling here, but these are, he editioned up to 50. We know that not all the edition was made, probably very few. This is number 2 of 50. Each one is signed, and it comes in the box with the explanation. So this lot includes this unique, one-of-a-kind Carbro photograph, the model release signed by Marilyn Monroe, and these 12 amazingly beautiful prints. So this is one of the highlights of the sale. Of course, with our photography, we have beautiful works by Julia Schulman, George Tice, Charles Britton. We have works by Richard Miserak. And here you see one of the really fine, very sought after works by Diane Arbus, which is a Selkirk print from an edition of 75. It came with the tags from Frankel Gallery. Really rare, beautiful print. Here we also have a Richard Miserak from an edition of 25 from 1999-2000. So as you look through this collection, you'll see Marlon Post Woolcock, you'll see Edmund Teskey, an incredible print from the early 70s, and all the way through to modern works by Mike Kelly. One of my favorite artists in the whole world, and who I personally have a huge collection of that I never sell, but I love, is Raymond Pettibone, for we did show him back in '91. And I always look for his really early, rare, great works. And we're extremely lucky to have 4 original pieces. This one, which we use for the postcard, is the latest one from '94. And it's really quite a very strong image. These other ones over here, so these 3 here are from the 80s. This one here, you didn't realize how, is from 1985. And the other ones are from 87. Really beautiful. They've been put away, they've not seen daylight. They are all signed and dated on the back, and these are as collectible as Raymond's could be. Really beautiful works. And here is a rare, beautiful find that we have in the auction that was given to one of David Hockney's closest friends, Dennis, and it's signed by David and Gregory. And it is an original drawing of these dancing funny figures from this interesting book. And then we have the photos of the person who purchased the book with David, and David happily showing his work that he did back in '83. So it's on the book, Hockney Paints the Stage. It's really quite a interesting example of both ephemera and drawings by, of course, one of the great artists of the 20th century and 21st century, David Hockney. Everybody always asks about large scale or even small scale outdoor sculptures at auction, and this year we have some amazing works, especially 12 unique works that were either marble or steel, done by Essie Pinsker, who was born in 1918 and died in 2007. Also in our foyer outdoor patio, we have 2 original unique works by Eric Orr. These are 2 water fountains. This is a really interesting collaborative piece with Kim McCarty and Jim Shaw that was done in 2012. Quite a strong example of her work with the background painted by Jim Shaw. It's signed by both artists. We just received this amazing print by William Eggleston, Untitled Open Door, which we love. It's an edition of 7. Also in this auction, we have 2 works by Hiroshi Sagamoto. Here is one from the '78, printed in 2005. We also have a very rare Sagamoto example, which we will have on view by the time you see this video.